So, you guys, a lot of you guys sent me a link pretty recently, and found it found it very interesting. Now, I'll preface this video by saying that if you have not seen my raid design video, I made my own raid boss fight about 3 or 4 months ago. It was back in March, and it's linked right here and in the description. I suggest watching that first before you continue with this one so you have the best context possible, but I'm going to go over the fight right here pretty quickly. So first, let's take a look at my video, some bits and pieces posted on March 2nd. We'll take a look at some highlights which cover the main mechanics of the fight. This raid encounter is Vex themed. In this fight, you'll be fighting a giant Vex Cyclops, a very rare enemy in the game. The room that you fight in is an open circle with no ledges to stand on, high ceilings, and high walls. The Cyclops is in the dead center of the room. The Cyclops has two attacks, Fixate and Psybeam. Fixate is where the Cyclops will lock onto a target and fire big blasts of energy at them, similar to how they attack in the game now. Psybeam is the other Cyclops ability. The Cyclops will charge for 4 seconds, then shoot two constant, steady, wall-like laser beams that go in a circle clockwise around the room, which you would need to run away from. The arms of the Cyclops would be the things shooting the beams, and they would be at a 180-degree angle, so it would basically just be a straight line going around. The beams are basically moving walls, high enough that you can't jump over them and thick enough that you can't blink through them, so you would need to run away. Every 20% of the boss's health, the Cyclops gains a protective shield that makes him immune to all damage while he goes berserk. He won't cast any other abilities at this time, and one of the generator doors will open up. At this time, a special enemy will spawn, which when killed, drops a Vex power core. This core is a physical object that needs to be moved to a generator, which will disable the shield around the Cyclops, stops its berserk from continuing, and allows you to continue the fight. So, in bullet points, circular room with high walls, Fixate ability locks onto a player, spinning laser walls that you need to run away from, power core needs to be placed into a generator. Then, on Wednesday, you guys linked me to a video. The video being a PlayStation video on their channel where an interview with Deej was being done. Now, we don't really care about the interview for the purposes of this video, but it was a good video. You should go watch it if you get the time. We care about the footage in the background, which appears to be some sort of strike, possibly the echo chamber, which is the PlayStation exclusive strike. After all, this was being shown in a PlayStation interview. Anyway, let's fast forward to the end of this video, and we'll take a look at this boss. So the first thing that we notice are these high walls, very circular style room. This isn't too ridiculous of an idea for a room, though. There's plenty of circular rooms in the game. Next, we see these big rotating walls that the team in the clips seem to be running away from. There's 2 of them. There might be as many as 3 of them at 120-degree angles. Alright, that's maybe just a coincidence. Next, there is this wide-angle shot of the boss being very focused and shooting a target in particular. We can also see the debuff Medusa's Stare, although we don't know what that does exactly. Any sort of stare can reasonably be compared to a Fixate, at least in terms of boss mechanics. Maybe it's a tiny bit of a stretch, but it's a reasonable one. Here's the kicker, though. In this clip, we see a hunter carrying a giant ball. Then they plant it into a little slot, and the thing that he put the ball into vanishes. I found all this to be hilarious. For the record, no, I was not involved in this in any way. And honestly, I just think it's a massive coincidence. The mechanics I talked about and design in my fight are in no way incredibly outside the box. Those are pretty common mechanics, or, at the very least have been used before, at least with regards to something like Fixate or Psybeam. I thought the Power Core mechanic was somewhat cool, though. So, did they take my idea? I mean, I guess we'll never really know, but I doubt it. It was probably just a big coincidence. They've been working on the Taken King for, I'm sure, at least a year now, if not longer. If anything, it's crazier that I was able to come up with a fight that Bungie was possibly already developing before I even came up with it. Although, I am willing to sweep all of this under the rug for a price. One of those Taken King shirts with the big red logo on the front. Your move, Bungie.